back with you. It's nighttime. We listen to Tonight's the Night.
Just finished it. Tonight's the Night, the song, 2 times on the album, right?
Yes.
This is from 1975, but recorded in 1973 after they recorded Time Fades Away Live. So he shelved it for 2 years and finally released it after On the Beach was released.
It's basically not an archive since it's only 2 years. But I think that after this, we will get to an archive of his called Homegrown.
Yep, that's going to be the next one. Let's talk about this. So this is, I guess, the 3rd album in his quote-unquote Ditch trilogy. And like we did with On the Beach, I want to talk about sort of all the cool packaging with this. So this is the first edition that's printed on blotter paper. Has a really nice textured sleeve. And this looks like an older picture of him here. It doesn't match his ragged look on the Tonight's the Night recordings.
You've also got this, we also got this.
Yeah, this is the insert that comes with it. And it sort of gives you some detail. There's a lot of cool things about this.
Yeah, so on the back, it has On the Beach written on here, but then typed on top of it is a song called Florida, unreleased on Homegrown, which is the next album we're going to talk about.
Yeah, it's a spoken word piece, and these are the actual lyrics, which I had no idea about, or the actual words. There's a weird picture of Roy Orbison, which had something to do with Neil Young accidentally buying a bootleg of his, and he felt like he wanted to... I don't know, Neil Young was in a weird place. He's like, I want to put Roy Orbison in the middle of this insert, because I feel bad about buying a bootleg. But yeah, the words for this Florida song are written over the On the Beach insert, and then there's another weird note that Neil Young wrote here. Inside you have some... Who is that? Buckwheat? Is that buckwheat?
It's one of the
Not
little...
buckwheat.
I think it's one of the Little Rascals.
One of the Little Rascals, yeah, whatever.
I think.
Whoever that one was called. And then inside you have some press all in Dutch, an article in Dutch that Neil Young somehow felt an affinity for, even though he couldn't understand any of it.
It's got the weird Father Yod hands going on.
Yeah, there's a Father Yod vibe happening. And then, hold on a second. And then we have here the inner sleeve, which shows you who's on the band, in the band. So who's in the band, Silas?
Who's in the band?
A lot of the same guys.
Ben Keith,
yep.
Ralph Molina, part of Crazy Horse, Billy Talbot, who's this?
Nils Lofgren.
And Danny Whitten's not on stage here.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, he put Danny Whitten in the credits because he passed away just a month or two while they were recording this. And the whole album, along with their roadie, Bruce Betty.
Who died,
Bruce Berry,
who died also at this time. He died, I think, right this album came out. But before we talk more about Tonight's the Night, I'd like to mention...
Well, hold on. I'm not done. I was still going to mention something else about this. So the reason why they put... Well, obviously they were paying tribute to Danny Whitten, but they put the song that he sung and wrote, Come On Baby, Let's Go Downtown, live from 1970, right into this album.
Live at the Fillmore East, which is, you can...
Yes.
The spine is right over there where my dad puts Neil Young filing his records.
Yep. So Danny Whitten was paid tribute here with the song, and that's on here, Come On Baby, Let's Go Downtown. And he called his band the Santa Monica Flyers because they would record until like 5 or 6 in the morning every night, and they would drive home on the Santa Monica... I don't know, something or other. I don't know anything about L.A.
But I'd like to mention
yes.
that there is this version of Tonight's the Night that's live called Roxy Tonight's the Night Live.
Yes, this was recorded after they finished the recording sessions for the album. They went and did some live shows at the Roxy, this is basically it's just like another version of Tonight's the Night.
First thing I'd like to point out is just like Tuscaloosa.
Here, I'll get it out for you. It's all Tonight's the Night song with the exception of Walk On, which is from On the Beach.
Which is our episode before this.
Yeah, so Silas likes etchings.
There is an etching on this, let me show you. It's what you call 3 sides and then an etching on the last side.
Yeah, so it's the Roxy logo, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And the last cool thing about this, my favorite part, is the black Reprise label, which I think is also telling about Neil Young's sort of mindset when he was doing this album. I think they reprised it reprise. For the Sleeps with Angels album is what I read. They did a black label for
Sleeps
that.
with Angels is one of his later albums we'll get to.
So what about this album? It's a lot of the same guys. They recorded, so this was recorded, this is weird. Here, we'll just put that aside. This is weird because it's kind of a live album in itself, but they recorded it at a rehearsal studio called SIR.
Except Come On Baby Let's Go Downtown, which was recorded at the Fillmore's with Crazy Horse.
Yes, that was from 1970. But 9 of the other 12 songs, 9 of the 12 songs total, were recorded live at rehearsal. They were just rehearsing all night long at this studio.
Borrowed Tune wasn't, though.
Yes, that and Lookout Joe were recorded at his studio, Broken Arrow. Everything else, though, was recorded live at a rehearsal studio, where they were just sort of messing around all night. And they were all sort of, feeling sad, really, about their people that they lost that they were friends with.
Lots of prophet gestures in all these photos.
Is
Prophet
there?
finger, the prophet hands.
Interesting. Good point, camera woman. Very good point.
And then the Roxy Tonight's the Night Live has him playing this guitar here.
Yeah.
And Record Store Day, that is...
Yes, yeah, that's when they released it. But as far as the songs, what do you think about the actual songs on this, Silas?
It's a good album.
Tonight's the Night, why do you think they decided to start and end with Tonight's the Night? Two different...
Don't know.
Yeah, and there's nothing different about them, really. It's the same song done twice. I think they were trying to create a vibe, obviously. My favorite song is Tired Eyes, as well as... Well, Tired Eyes I love. And then what's the other song where you really hear Neil Young, reaching for his voice? He's really like... Wah!
Speaking Out?
Was it Speaking Out? I think you're
Mellow
right.
My Mind?
You're right, Mellow My Mind, where he's really sort of not... He's failing in his attempt to hit a certain note, but it sort of works.
Not quite getting there.
He's not getting there. New Mama's awesome. Albuquerque's another favorite of mine. It's actually sort of a tough album to listen to because you can really hear the sadness on this and the sort of down feelings.
Tired Eyes, he's tired.
Yeah, he sounds tired. They probably it was probably 3 or 4 in the morning when they were doing it.
Yeah.
And everybody on this, I think his band was sounding great. You have, like I said, the 2 Crazy Horse guys, Ben Keith on steel, pedal steel, and Nils Lofgren again. It's sort of his crew. He just renamed them the Santa Monica Flyers.
The tracks on Roxy Tonight's the Night Live are a different order, of course. It starts with Tonight's the Night, and then it goes down to Mellow My Mind.
But Tonight's the Night is on here twice again. Yeah.
World on a String, Speaking Out, Albuquerque, New Mama, Roll Another Number.
It's a similar order.
Tired Eyes, Tonight's the Night Part 2, and then finishing with Walk On.
Right. It's in a way, I wouldn't say I have feelings about this album, but it's actually a tougher one for me in his catalog, but I certainly give it a positive review. Do you want to talk about how many shakies you give it?
I'm giving it 7.7 shakies.
7.7. So, okay, tell me real quick, why 0.7? Not quite 8.
Well, that's just what I rate it.
All right, that's fine. It's not your favorite, but you definitely like it.
Yes.
I will give it 8.5. I'm going to take one out of your book. 0.5. It's my least favorite album of this so-called trilogy. It's excellent. I only say that the songs overall aren't the songs to me aren't quite at the same par or the same sort of strength as I like Time Fades Away a little better and On the Beach, of course. I think the band doing the way they do each song it's sort of the same kind of vibe on the whole thing, which I guess is the point. Maybe I'm talking myself into it liking it more, but I think I'm going to stick with 8.5. Fantastic record.
All these albums...
Another amazing one in his run.
For me, all these albums in the 70s are going to be at least 7.6 shakies. Then it's kind of get tough after that. How about this Camera Woman, who is always pointing out the details and...
I was thinking 8 shakies. It's somewhere between 8 and 9, but I want to stick with the solid number shakies.
Yeah, I went with your idea, doing an 8.5.
But I'm going to say 8 shakies for this.
Okay, you feel like it's good. It's just not up to complete.
I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
I think the book ending it with 2 Tonight's the Nights yes. was superfluous.
A little bit of an odd choice.
I didn't think that was necessary, and I don't know. I agree with you. I think that the songs are not quite as good as the ones on on the beach.
There's nothing bad.
They're
on
great.
it.
I really do like this record. If I had to go between, and it's kind of bouncing back and forth between an 8 and a 9 for me, but I'm gonna say 8.
Yeah, I mean, there's no There's a World on here. That's for sure.
That is true.
I mean, those two songs on Harvest really do.
They pull it down.
They pull it down a little bit.
Some cement shoes.
I love these songs. It's just, yeah, it takes a lot. It's kind of an exhausting album in a way, but
it's a little emotionally exhausting.
It's excellent. It's certain a time and a place, and I love it.
It's true, Mr. Everybody Knows This Nowhere.
That's me.
Not everyone. Everybody.
Thank you for listening. What's up next now? What's the next album?
Next will be Homegrown. I just wanted to point out one thing, that at the end of our last video on the beach, Dad didn't notice, but when Mom said everyone knows this is nowhere, Dad interrupted her.
Oh, he did notice.
I
That's
did.
why he interrupted me. Not
Whoops.
cool.
Whoops.
All
All right,
right,
Homegrown,
bye.
released in 2020, but from 1975, so that's next.